Are your hormones driving you crazy? Hi, I'm Cora Naylor, certified coactive coach and emotion co-practitioner. As a coach for empty nesters, my clients have a lot going on. Kids moving out, elderly parents, relationship changes, to name a few. So at this time, it's really important that we start looking out for ourselves more than ever. And to help us learn more about how we can take control of our hormones, I've invited Carlene Sterner to join me today. Carlene is a mother, a wife, artist, medical doctor, life coach, Reiki practitioner, laughter yoga leader, and a certified Ayurveda health practitioner. She practiced as a family physician for 25 years with a growing interest in holistic and preventative medicine. Along the way, she had an experience with breast cancer that began to nudge her to question how she was serving her purpose, which led her to Ayurveda, a natural healing system that looks after the whole person. She now gets to blend her medical background and understanding of modern science with her Ayurvedic training to empower her clients to become their own physicians. So, welcome, Carlene.
Thank you, Cora. Like, can you tell I didn't know what I wanted to be for a long time in my life, wearing all these different hats?
You got a lot going on, but it's funny how we evolve. You know, we keep and we learn one thing, and then that leads us to something else, and so
Oh,
it's
yeah.
really interesting.
Well, I'm grateful because I came to realize I needed all that background, especially the Western medical background, to get a chance to blend it with this ancient wisdom of Ayurvedic medicine. And now I get to really bring the best of both worlds, I feel like.
Yeah, and I feel like that a lot of the people are looking for more natural ways, to look after ourselves. You know, plant-based eating is becoming a lot more popular, and people are really getting more concerned about their health, and especially in these times, even more so.
That is very much what Ayurveda is all about. So it's a natural healing system. It's based in nature with the idea that our optimal health consists of finding a balance between our internal and external environments, because you've got to bring more of that external environment into you as food, air, water, experiences to make more of you. So Ayurveda really emphasizes digestion, but digesting all those things. So food is your medicine, but how you eat it and when you eat it and where you eat it, those also become very significant practices.
Oh, yes, mindful eating, right? Yeah, I know
Yeah.
because a lot of times, and I do that myself because I don't just sit and eat. I'll be watching TV or reading a book, and the next thing you know, I finished eating, and I'm like, did I exactly just eat?
Guilty here too, for many years of it as a physician especially. So that's a great reminder in terms of for anything we're doing for our overall health. And today trying to address kind of the havoc of the hormones during menopause, it really is about starting from where you're at and not beating yourself up over where you're at and putting yourself down or the negative self-talk. It's simply starting with acceptance, starting with recognition and awareness. So, what I really want to emphasize today is all of our lifestyle choices and diet choices that we can make to enhance the experience of moving through menopause with some grace and sanity is very much based on understanding where we're at. We're all unique individuals. One size doesn't fit all. But we're also existing as mind, body, spirit, or energy or consciousness beings. So, no matter where you start in terms of addressing something that is imbalanced or out of harmony, you're working on an interconnected, integrated system. So, regardless of what your first choice is for a tool, it's simply a matter of choose a tool, because working with something different, good old Einstein, you're not going to get a different result if you keep doing things the same way. You just want to take a step and move into doing something differently. So I thought I would just kind of remind the ladies out there that menopause, by Western definition, is when you stop having menstrual cycles for a year. And in the course of that, though, you might have 10 to 15 or even longer years of what's called perimenopause. And that is a lead up of all these symptoms that Western medicine often doesn't know what to do with. Ayurveda relates symptoms back to, gosh, your body naturally comes into the world understanding that You are a whole person, that your cells have all these roles that they already know, and they know how to bring you back to balance. Our systems always seek balance, harmony, homeostasis, but we make all these different choices that get us out of balance. So all health and disease in Ayurveda starts up here, where you're governing your choices. And our thoughts are often influencing emotions, and emotions have a huge impact on some of our health choices. One of the places I wanted to emphasize starting this balance, whatever your symptoms are, and the three of the main ones that I think most women experience, and there's a lot of complexity to talking about menopause. There's, nice big books written on it, but I'm going to emphasize things like hot flashes, things like anxiety and insomnia, because they all tie in together. So if you work on one, chances are you're going to balance out the others. And I look predominantly at managing stress and optimizing digestion. So you never can take out that endocrine system, that whole system of hormones, and separate it from all the other things going on in your body. They're all integrated and connected. So wholeness, wholeness, wholeness. And I'm going to also emphasize that these steps can be simple. They don't have to be complex. So nobody needs to be intimidated. And I also will emphasize that food has the same qualities as medicine often, and we've lost sight of that. We've forgotten that we're designed to function best with the food that we can bring into our bodies, and that our food often has hormonal-like effects on our bodies. So many women during menopause are encouraged to start artificial hormones, and they often run into side effects and problems with those hormones. In Ayurveda, we would encourage looking at something plant-based, but even looking at a plant-based hormonal effect, you'd still want to be sure that anything you're trying that's new or different, you kind of discuss with your physician. So being a physician, I'm thinking, I would want to know what my patients are working on. Some of these things are kind of common sense.
Yeah, and I think it'd be nice if that more of the doctors could work with somebody that's more holistic and work together, like about wellness rather than just, when something's wrong.
Well, and that's one of the things that I found challenging as continuing as a medical doctor. We were managing chronic disease a lot instead of really getting to help our clients / patients co-create their health. Yeah. Because I'm never going to exist in anybody else's body. I mean, you know your body better than I ever could if I was your physician, and the same is true of everybody else. I will know my body, mind, emotions better than anybody else will. So, I need to take accountability and responsibility for my health, same as anybody else. So now moving into the havoc of hormones, because it can feel like, oh my gosh, will this, storm ever end? Yeah. Have you experienced some of the menopausal issues at all yourself?
Definitely had the hot flashes for about a year, but I found that the perimenopause was way worse than the menopause.
Yes.
And it was longer, like years.
So if one understands one's own unique constitution in Ayurveda, we call it a mind-body type, and it also has a Sanskrit name called the dosha. As you move through different time frames in your life, your different mind-body types, or what makes them up, the qualities that contribute to your personality, your physical traits and tendencies, your psychological traits and tendencies, those can be aggravated by your diet and other lifestyle things. So we look at our society, and you look at the women who sail through menopause and the ones who don't. And then you look at their mind-body type, and you look at their lifestyle choices. And one of the things that often is prevalent is stress management. And stress management is tied inextricably to digestion. Your ability to digest air, water, food, experiences, emotions, again, making more of yourself, so making more of your hormones. We live in a society with a lot of fight, flight, freeze. We're in stress mode a lot, and we often don't even know we're there until we get a chance to step out of it. When you're stressed, if you sit down to have a meal and you're anxious, you don't digest properly. the signals don't enter your body properly, and you're not going to optimize your health. So stress management is huge, and looking at managing or balancing hormones, some of the tips that I just wanted to share are kind of specific to the stressors that the symptoms of menopause also contribute to. So it's that chicken and egg thing. Oh my gosh, I feel crappy, so I'm feeling stressed, and oh my gosh, I'm feeling stressed, and I start to feel crappier because my body doesn't know what to do with that. So I wrote down a few so that I don't get carried away, because I could come up with a lot.
We have a few minutes, so give us one.
So the first one I'm going to suggest is this time of hot flashes, perimenopause or menopause, means that there's more fire showing up in the system, more transformation occurring. Literally, the hormones are going up, going down, going up, going down. They're not keeping an even keel. So one of the things you can do is have more cooling things in your diet. So cooling herbs like cilantro, mint, and dill, adding them into your cooking because they're going to be more effective if they're part of your food. You can look up what are called pacifying diets for Ayurveda, and I can give references to that at the end. But other cooling specific to the hot flashes, pomegranate juice, about 1 cup with 10 to 15 drops of fresh lime juice 3 times a day. Aloe vera gel, half a teaspoon of gel to 1 teaspoon of gel, 2 to 3 times a day, or aloe vera juice, a half cup twice a day. So those are really super specific hot flash things to cool the fire. Other ways to cool the fire, there's stress management. So you're getting always both things are prevalent. Satali breathing. So this is a breathing technique closely connected to yoga. Yoga poses are going to be another way that you have movement, that you create strength and balance. But the specific breathing ones are cooling breaths. And I like to do guided imagery when I'm doing the cooling breath. So I spent a lot of time in Antarctica in my mind as I'm doing this breath. Satali is curling your tongue, if you can, breathing in across the tube of your tongue and out through your nose. And if you can't curl your tongue, put it up against your upper teeth and breathe in and out through your nose. And keep doing that 5 minutes, 2 to 3 times a day. You can sit down and do 10, 15 minutes, do a little meditation while you're doing that, because all of that calming stress, anything that calms stress enhances digestion. Anything that enhances digestion optimizes your hormones. The other breathing technique, alternate nostril breathing. You will close the nostril with fingers, thumb, and usually your ring finger. Close one side and start on the left. Breathe in. Close the left, breathe out through the right. Breathe in through the right. Close the right, breathe out through the left. And you do that for 10 to 15 minutes. And I know you couldn't see my face, probably had no idea what I was doing. Nadi Shodhana, alternate nostril breathing is what it's called. Third one is, I'm going to kind of sneak in one more. Stay hydrated. Drink about half your body weight in fluid ounces a day, and then some, depending on activities, depending on the season. All right, I'm going to go back to yoga. Yoga is a fabulous way to do a mind-body connection through your breath. And there's some very specific yoga poses that also help for balancing digestion, as well as calming and cooling. Simplest one, child's pose. You can look it up.
I love child's pose.
Doesn't it feel good? I roll out of bed into child's pose every morning, and then I slowly make my way up into an inversion pose called downward facing dog. And then I kind of back up a little more into forward fold. And then eventually I kind of do, this whole lift into starting sun salutations. Lots of information on yoga out there, but it's a fabulous way to maintain balance and strength and connection. And a lot of what we're trying to do when balancing hormones or creating any kind of balance in mind body is back to connection. So those are some really, really basic tips that will help with anxiety, will help with palpitations, will help with sleep, will help with cooling down the hot flashes.
Oh, that's so awesome. Thank you for to get really practical, tangible tips is amazing. So if anybody watching, if you want to get more information, get in touch with Carlene. Her email address is on here, carlenesterner@gmail.com, because I'm sure you have tons of information that you could send people if they wanted. Or maybe they didn't catch exactly some of the, poses or whatever. But
Right.
I'm hearing the herbs too, because I wasn't aware of that before. And would that be good in drinks as well? If you have, people do
peppermint tea,
water
maybe.
or something.
Yeah, like just, fresh peppermint leaves in water makes a wonderful tea. There's quite a variety of other herbs and spices that could be used. I like to use fresh herbs, especially, it's summertime, so here at least. It's a wonderful way to cook something more with the energy of a plant that's going to have a positive effect on your body with your food.
Right.
And you're more likely to be able to digest that than you are a supplement. So there's other herbal supplements for people who want something more targeted. Again, those start to work a little more like medicine. And I would want people to be sure, they understood the effect in other areas, especially if they're on other medications. So the herbs mentioned should be pretty safe for everybody.
Great. Okay, great. And like I said, if anyone wants to get in touch with Carlene for more information, just reach out to her at her email address. And if you're an empty nester and you would like to, get notification of more of my interviews coming up, or maybe you want some information about coaching with me, just comment below with a yes, and I'll get you added into my Facebook group. So thanks so much for joining me today, Carlene. And we'll see you
Pleasure.
soon.
Thank you. Bye.